Welcome, everyone, to Season 2 of Murder in Stratton County. The mystery saga continues with even more murder, mischief, and mayhem. Written by Elizabeth Spoon and Rylan Mason. Narrated by me, Brian Shepard. Episode 14. The Grinch. The Grinch hated Christmas, as his heart was 3 times too small, and took the Christmas spirit by stealing all the gifts and decor, which, towards the end, he saved Christmas, and all the Whos down in Whoville celebrated. Even the mayor was pleased, all while feasting on roast beast. Sadly, that is not the case with the killer who claims to be the Grinch. This Grinch is stealing the Christmas spirit by murdering the Whos and tormenting the mayor. So I doubt Brian is going to be giving this person a feast. Nor will Stratton be celebrating this Grinch, as it won't matter if their heart grows 3 times bigger. No, they needed to be stopped. Not like there's a Mount Crumpet to hide in. However, whoever this Grinch is seems to be hiding very well, which is driving Brian bonkers, as Doobie went to respond yet saw a flashing light out the window. "Seems to be someone out there," Doobie said as he went to open the door. "No, what are you, crazy? Don't open the door. Let them come to you. You don't know who that is," Brian yelled back, jelly beans falling from his lap. Down at the station, Sheriff Ratchet and Deputy Marks looked after Debbie, now that she wanted to talk. Well, right anyway. She was worried she was next. Judge Stephanie Wallencheck was on speakerphone to listen and be part of the taking of her statement, as her lawyer didn't make it in time over the mountain. That, and she was not about to get out of bed in the storm. "All she knows is that her contact's name is B.T., Dugan said into the phone that was sitting on the table. "Wait, just B.T.? Are those initials? Nickname? Come on, Ratchet, ask the questions," Stephanie squawked back in response. "She says she doesn't know, just that they were known as B.T. She had never met in person, just on the phone. We traced that number, and its location is somewhere here in Stratton. We're in the process of pinpointing a location." "Good. Thank you, Debbie, for cooperating with this investigation. However, I do have one last question." "Why?" Debbie just sat there staring at the phone, thinking about what the judge just asked. Why? Why did she portray her friend and boss of so many years? Brian trusted her with his life, and even the keys to his house, which never happens. She knows the answer, yet feels guilty because why else would someone do something out of the norm? Money and greed. She was close to the mayor and was told her debts would be paid for her help. She was lied to, as killing was not part of the deal, and she is sorry for what has happened, Marks read back, as she had finally decided to answer. There was no response back from the judge, as she just told Dugan to call with any updates. They would now be on the lookout for another suspect in Stratton. As soon as the storm calms, they are free to move about the town. Dugan felt the stress, as not only did they need to find the mayor and his officer, now they needed to find another killer before the killer found the mayor. Because Doobie didn't respond back on the radio, the mystery voice on the other end just laughed. Yet that soon stopped, as the person outside was finally tapping on Doobie's window. Bradley noticed right away the water that was splashing up against the car as it sat on very thin ice, the front end sinking into the gravel underneath. With the wet, heavy snow, the river was flowing at a steadier rate, and he was sure it would only get worse. "Can I open the door now, or do you want me to wait until they attack me?" Doobie said sarcastically, which got him the squinted eye look from Brian, who had packed everything away. Doobie told him to get down and be ready to fight. "It's me, Bradley. You in there?" "We can hear you. You just need to confirm it's you," Brian asked as he crouched down, holding his briefcase just in case. "What?" "Oh, sure, Mayor. I'm sure I have my ID somewhere on me, as I just left a warm house and boyfriend, your neighbor, to come out here and investigate your light. Now open the door or freeze. Your choice." Before Brian could respond back, as he knew it was Bradley, the car jolted forward, causing the front end to sink deeper. Bradley stepped back, tripping in the deep snow. The river would soon take the car if they don't exit. Like, now. Doobie made sure to turn the cruiser off before he unlocked and opened the door. The snow and wind caught him right in the face as he exited and opened the back door for Brian. "You're not that far from Ryan's. Best to keep up and move quickly, as it will be easy to get lost," Bradley said, as he made sure both understood and were ready for the trek back to the house. "What a shame," Brian said as he looked back at the cruiser. "What's wrong?" Doobie asked. "We just bought that. The two old buzzards on the city council are not going to like this. Maybe Ford will feel sorry for me and gift us one. Wouldn't that be nice?" "Hey, what's the holdup? Let's move, or do you want to freeze?" Bradley said. "Oh, the mayor here wants to complain about the brand new cruiser that sits dead in the water, literally, rather than worry about the killer who is out there calling himself the Grinch." "Yep, that's Brian for you. This way, Brian, we don't want to get lost now, do we?" Bradley said as all three were back on the snow-covered bridge, heading back to Ryan Green's place. So, I'm going to stop for a moment and mention that what I read next will make more sense to those who have listened and completed A Haunting in Stratton. And for those who have not, I encourage you to, as you will learn more about these characters, to then have a better understanding. That goes for any character I bring from another story. For those who may not know, I have a tendency to use characters from my other stories as fill-ins, fluff, if you will. So in Murder, you have Jack Jameson and his boyfriend Christopher, which are my main characters for Jack Jameson, my avid archaeologist. I believe I also brought in Duchess's sister, Anita Cromwell, who is an old lady dubbed matchmaker when it comes to my On the High Seas series, which has 4 stories with 4 different captains aboard Caribbean ocean liners who fall in love while trying to avoid disaster in some form. Fear, Love, and Lost are finished, and Found is currently being read. So, next up are characters from A Haunting in Stratton, which seems to be very popular. Ryan Green, Bradley, and their paranormal friends. So, again, I encourage you to listen to any of these stories to learn more about the different characters and to have fun and a laugh. Now, where were we? Oh yes, the trek back to Ryan Green's house, which, the last time the mayor was there, spooky things happened, which then carried over to his house. He was not looking forward to going inside, yet it was better than freezing to death, and with Doobie. The door flung open, yet when Brian and Doobie stepped inside before Bradley, there was no one to greet them. He was expecting Ryan. Molly had opened the door in advance so they could just walk right in. Ryan was still in the library, patiently waiting for Bradley to return. Brian and Doobie can't see Molly, the little girl who lives here in Ryan's home, which used to be hers. Before she died, that is. Bradley was quick to take their coats and lead them down the hall to the library, where Ryan practically jumped into Bradley's arms. "I missed you too," Bradley said as he kissed Ryan. "Brian, you must be freezing. I have hot tea for you and some sandwiches if you guys are hungry. Make sure you warm up by the fire. Here," Ryan said, handing Brian his cell phone. "Someone wants to talk to you." It was Jordan, who has been worried sick this whole time. He felt horrible, as so many people pretty much passed right by them. "I'm fine, or rather, we are fine. You can call Dugan, as I'm going to go lay down. I'm exhausted, as now I have to come up with the money to replace a cruiser," which that remark got Brian's squinted eyes from Doobie. "I'm joking. Calm down," Brian said, as he finished his call with Jordan. "We are just glad you guys are all right. What happened?" Ryan asked. "Well, we figured we would be able to make it. We had just passed Kevin walking out of the bank. Poor guy got splashed. Could have sworn the guys filled that hole. Anyway, the snow just got heavier, and by the time we hit our road, we had to swerve to miss some branches that fell," Brian replied as he sat in the chair next to the fire, Earl Grey in hand. Doobie, on the other hand, was fixated on a painting that hung between two bookshelves. The nameplate read Empress of Britain. However, what was depicted in the picture was an ocean liner capsized. "Interesting, isn't it? Painter unknown. However, the scene will change from time to time. For instance, I remember the ship upright and sailing in blue Caribbean waters. Then the sky would be a shade darker until it began to capsize, and now it's stormy. However, just yesterday, I noticed 3 people standing on the hall." "You're joking. Pictures just don't change themselves," Doobie said, as he closely examined the painting even more. "I'm afraid we're inside the Haunted Mansion, so if you've never been on the ride, I suggest you not stay," Brian said as he finished his tea. The plan for now was to stay here till morning. James was already made aware that someone would be sleeping in his room. James seemed to be okay, as being a military man himself, he didn't mind that Doobie, who was a man of the law, would share his space. James died as a soldier. He is Molly's brother, who she never met. When it came time for Brian to retire to his guest room, Ryan and Bradley walked him down the hallway past Ryan's room and were about to open the guest bedroom door when the room that Ryan has never been able to open or even see since buying the house opened. Thanks, guys. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to get those notifications that I've posted new content. Also, a big shout out to all my listeners in countries around the world: Ireland, Spain, Australia, England, and Japan, and of course to all my friends and family and listeners here in the States.